Friends, today is Sunday, the 5th of July. We're back in my study. Nice day today. You know, in Oregon, we say that summer begins on the 4th of July. And if that's the case, well, today is a nice day and hopefully the beginning of many. I want to take a look at today's gospel. Which again, taken from the Gospel of Matthew. And it's a passage in Matthew that I find a little cryptic. That is a little puzzling, a little mysterious. What exactly the point that it is making, what it is revealing to us. The second part of the Gospel is quite clear, and I've preached on that before. Comforting words to us from Jesus where he says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest." Perhaps I should have preached on that. These are days where most of us do feel burdened and need some rest. Speaking of which, I will be gone for a little over a week. I'll be leaving tomorrow for a little vacation, so this will be my last video for a little while, but I'll be back, and hopefully with some beautiful pictures of a desert area. And you'll see once I get back what desert that was. But getting back to the gospel, the first part of the gospel, where it says that Jesus exclaimed, "I give you praise, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, for although you have hidden these things from the wise and the learned, you have revealed them to the little ones." You have hidden and revealed. Two words I want you to keep in mind as I'm speaking briefly this morning. And those words are Trinity and Revelation. Trinity and Revelation. Trinity, a word that is not used in the Bible. Revelation, which means to unveil. Something that was hidden is now unveiled, and we see it. I should probably mention as well at this point that Christianity and Judaism are both considered revealed religions. Revealed religion, that is, we could not come up with this by looking at the stars and the moon and the beauty of nature and so on. It had to be revealed by God to us. So Trinity, Revelation, hold on to that. And as I just began, Jesus begins with a prayer. He exclaims, "I give you praise, Father of heaven and earth." A prayer of praise and thanksgiving for what God has done. You know, it's interesting, how much really do we know about Jesus' prayer? How often do we know the content of Jesus' prayer? Think about the New Testament and the places where Jesus prays. What do we learn? Well, there's the Lord's Prayer, but that was a prayer that he gave to us, to his disciples. Then the Garden of Gethsemane, he prays to the Father. And John 17, the high priestly prayer of Jesus. And then this passage here, Jesus praying and giving thanks that something that was hidden is now revealed. If somebody were to ask you, well, what is Jesus talking about? For although you have hidden these things, now you reveal them to the little ones. What has been hidden and what is now revealed? Well, a little study of the context and so on in Matthew indicates that what has been hidden and now revealed is the identity of Jesus. The identity of Jesus as the divine pre-existent Son of the Father. The divine pre-existent Son of the Father. That has now been revealed. It says, Jesus says, no one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son wishes to reveal him. No one knows the Son except the Father. Think in the gospel as well, the various understandings, image of Jesus people had. Remember the question that Jesus asked at Caesarea Philippi. He asked his disciples, who do people say that I am? What are you hearing? And they respond, well, some would say you're John the Baptist, come back to life. Or perhaps Elijah, the prophet who was to return before the end times. Or maybe just another of the prophets. But then Jesus says, but who do you say that I am? And Peter says, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. You are the Christ. And Jesus says to him, flesh and blood has not taught you this, but rather it has been revealed to you from my Father. Revealed. What was once hidden is now revealed, that Jesus is the Son. And when we say Son and Father here, we need to be careful that we don't simply compare it with human Father and Son. It's not that at all. Back in the liturgy, we normally say only begotten Son to distinguish it from a human Father and Son, a Son who is ultimately created. But Jesus is begotten, and begotten for all time, with the Father for all time. And what about the Father? No one knows the Father, Jesus says. Well, what about the Old Testament? Don't we come to know something about the Father in the Old Testament? Well, we learn some of the things that he does: creator, judge, taking care of Israel, and so on. But what we don't learn is the deeper mystery of God, the pre-existent God, the God who was present before all of creation, with the Son, with the Holy Spirit. In other words, what is being revealed here is the Trinity. The Trinity. We kind of take that for granted today, but we have to remember in the time of Jesus, this would have been very strange, extraordinary. Judaism is a monotheistic religion. There is one God. God is one. To introduce something like Trinity, well, it took some time for the church to understand it. We say each week the Nicene Creed from the 4th century. It took the church that long to come to that understanding that God is Trinity, a Trinity of persons, 3 persons, united in a communion of love, in whose image we are created, and thus at our deepest core, we are communion, and in communion, and made and built for communion. That's, in a sense, what we're hardwired for. Jesus gives thanks for that revelation. The revelation of Trinity, Father, Son, and Spirit. Have a great day, and I'll see you in some days. Take care.